Saturday, the 8th of August. 2,000 people are packed around the cathedral in Funchal, Madeira. Phones in the air, football shirts everywhere, all waiting for what the British press had spent weeks calling the wedding of the century. A vintage Rolls-Royce pulls up. The crowd surges. The bride steps out. And it isn't Georgina Rodríguez. It's a woman named Nicole. Inside at the altar is a man named Fabio, two people from Madeira whose private wedding had just been mobbed by thousands of strangers looking for someone else. The priest had to say it out loud. This is the only wedding happening here today. They closed the cathedral doors to finish the ceremony. 3 days later, Cristiano Ronaldo actually got married 600 kilometers away, in his living room, in front of 9 people. So, the most expensive football wedding ever? Almost certainly not. And the real story is better than a price tag. In this video, where the £10 million rumor came from, what this wedding actually cost, who really holds the record, and the one part of the day that probably was expensive, though nobody photographed it. And subscribe in advance. If the video doesn't deliver, you can just unsubscribe at the end. Deal. Tuesday, the 11th of August, 1:30. The couple's home in Cascais, west of Lisbon. A civil ceremony, no cathedral, no stadium, no guest list. Present, their 5 children and 4 witnesses. A friend from Ronaldo's Sporting Academy days, Georgina's sister, and a Spanish couple close to her from the jewelry business. Not one famous name was in the room. The registrar traveled from Porto. And the announcement was one photograph, 2 hands, 2 plain gold bands. It passed 4 million likes in under 40 minutes. So where did £10 million come from? Nowhere. No leaked budget, no invoice, no source, just a chain of speculation. Funchal Cathedral, a reception at the Savoy Palace, designer gowns, private jets, celebrity performers. It was never reporting. It was extrapolation. Ronaldo is a billionaire, therefore the wedding must cost millions. That assumption sent 2,000 people to the wrong church, in the wrong city, on the wrong weekend, and some of the images going viral weren't even real. They'd been generated by AI. So let's do the forensics. In Portugal, a civil ceremony held outside a registry office costs roughly €200. The property agreement adds about 100 more. Venue rental, 0, it's his own house. Catering for 11 people at premium Portuguese rates, €80 to €200 a head. The wedding bands, according to jewelry experts reading the photograph, are deliberately simple, £1,000 to £2,500 each. Even a fully catered luxury event at home lands somewhere, around €20,000 to €50,000. There is no public basis whatsoever for the word millions. And here's the trap that produces the fake numbers. Ronaldo's house in Cascais is valued at between 25 and 30 million, and people added in because the wedding happened there. But he already owned it. Adding a venue you already own to the cost of an event is like adding your car to the price of your commute. The ring is the opposite problem. Georgina's engagement ring has been estimated by specialists at $2 to $5 million, though those are expert readings of photographs, not a receipt. So compare. The engagement ring, possibly $2 million. The wedding bands, a couple of thousand each. The diamond he proposed with May have cost 100 times more than the entire ceremony. And it still doesn't belong in the wedding budget. He gave it to her a full year earlier. So who holds the record? Almost certainly Wayne and Coleen Rooney in 2008. 4 days in Italy, 5 private jets, 64 guests, Westlife performing for a reported £400,000. Total press estimate, around 5 million. And the magazine OK reportedly paid $2.5 million for the exclusive, meaning half that wedding was financed by selling access to it. Adjust for inflation, and you land near 9 or 10 million today. Almost exactly the number the press invented for Ronaldo. The most expensive football wedding probably already happened 18 years ago, and nobody called it the wedding of the century. And relative to income, it isn't close. 5 million was around 43 weeks of Rooney's wages. For Ronaldo, 10 million would be days. Now the part where this actually turns. Rooney sold his wedding to a magazine. For 20 years that was the model. The exclusive is the asset, and a publisher owns it. Ronaldo did the opposite. He published one image himself to hundreds of millions of people and gave no magazine anything. The ceremony may have cost a few thousand euros. The announcement was worth vastly more by any commercial measure. Rooney sold the pictures. Ronaldo owned the distribution. And then the one part of the day that probably did involve serious money, with no photograph of it anywhere. The certificate shows they married under separation of property. In Portugal, that is not the default. The standard regime shares what a couple acquires after marriage. To choose separation, you need a prenuptial agreement, and theirs was signed the day before the ceremony at a notary's office in Lisbon. So the wedding may have cost less than a decent car, while the legal architecture around it touched a fortune estimated above $1 billion. One caution: the tabloid claims about 100,000 euros a month for life aren't in anything published. Everything beyond separation of property is speculation. Which brings us to the human part. Ronaldo had told Piers Morgan he wanted to marry after the World Cup, and specifically with the trophy. Win it, then marry as a world champion. Instead, Portugal lost 1-0 to Spain in the round of 16, and he confirmed it was his last World Cup. There was no trophy. 5 weeks later, he married in his living room, with his 5 children there. 2 days after that, he was back in training at Al Nassr. The man who spent 23 years turning every milestone into a public event handled the biggest personal one of his life by telling nobody until it was over. So, the most expensive football wedding ever? No, not close, but maybe the most controlled. Look at what he decided: the venue so nothing leaked. A guest list small enough that nothing could escape it. The timing: 3 days after 2,000 people went to the wrong church. One image, released by him on his terms. The legal regime, signed the day before. And no exclusive for anyone. For a footballer who has lived every day of his adult life in front of 80,000 people, the ultimate luxury isn't a cathedral or a palace. It's the ability to disappear for an afternoon and then decide alone what the world gets to see. So tell me in the comments, the classiest thing Ronaldo has ever done or strange from the most public athlete on earth. And be honest, with $1 billion, would you spend 5 million on a wedding or 300 euros in a photograph? And if you want the full breakdown of where the rest of his fortune goes, that video is already on the channel.